And I knew this was a quintessential New York film when I walked out of the screening, and it was also a Yankees game going on, and there were floods of people on the subway. So I'm thinking, like, am I about to be in the safer heights to lowest? That's what I was thinking, what was going through my mind. I enjoyed this film so much. For both of you, your characters have a deep, both working relationship and a personal relationship in this film. But a lot of it is, contextualized, and we don't see it a lot, but it's implied through their relationships. How did you bring this dynamic together on screen, considering the fact that we don't know too much about these characters other than what we're seeing in the moment and how it's being broken down?
Well,
good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think working with Denzel, the first order of business is for him to mine down behind what's on the page. And I found that really, really exciting, the work that's done before the cameras roll. And we talked a lot about, the relationship prior, and it gave me space and, kind of platforms to build some ideas on, and Spike would talk about who they were before the movie starts. And if we did our jobs right, then, you feel that, even though it's not necessarily in the dialogue, it's not on the script, but it lives, between us. And Denzel gives you a lot to work with as an actor, and very generous in that way. And so that information, I try to...
Are most actors just not generous?
Well,
That's a yes or no. I mean, no. No.
Well, no. No, I'm not. Well,
see, that was good stuff right there. No, good. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's a fullness. He's one of the great actors in cinema. Period. Come on, that's and so I'm not going to say it's not a challenge, but in some ways it makes the job working easier.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa.
Because you're getting so much to respond to, and just all that, fullness of life, So all of that stuff, I hope translates to the audience, and it sounds like we may have done okay here.
Yeah, because I think it's something special when you can see that, I just met these characters, like, let's say, 30, 45 minutes ago in this movie, and I can, extrapolate what I know this dynamic to be, this years of history. So I think it's important to see that within characters like the both of you are playing, especially, black men, and the dynamics, and set in New York City. So I think all of that is kind of important within this movie.
And it's called a good script and good actors, Spike. Even before Spike, because the script came to me first, I knew we had a good script. I brought it to Spike. He put the Spike on it, and then surrounded me with great actors.
Yeah,
makes my job easy. Like, he knows how I hit the ball, so he got some players that can hit it back. And I was like, ooh, here we go. He said, ooh. Wait a minute, let me go back to the house. Let me go to the woodshed, work on my biography, and the things we do. You bring your past and all the things that that actors do.
Yeah. And speaking of surrounding yourself, him surrounding you with good actors, I love how this spotlights the up-and-coming generation as well. Jeffrey, of course, your son is in the movie. Your son is played by Aubrey Joseph, who is an incredible rising actor as well. There's a few rappers such as Ice Spice and Princess Nokia in this film. Why do you think this is important for this film to spotlight emerging talent as well?
Well, I think there's that overlap, with music. There's an overlap now, all the mediums, The film is rooted in actors that are from acting. Not knocking others, but these guys can act. They know what they're doing. Michael knows what he's doing. Jeffrey knows what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. So, and the young boys are coming. It's fascinating watching him with his son. I think he was more nervous about it than his son. He got the part. Period. It wasn't because he was his son either. It was because he got the part. He won the part. It was like, oh, this kid's got the goods.
He auditioned with Denzel.
Yeah, he did his final, I think, test with
Did a
me.
little Shakespeare in there or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I threw some stuff at him. He threw it right back at me. You know, and then we called Dad up and told him.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you both so much for chatting with me. I can't wait to see this film again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You, of course, are in Godfather Harlem, and you have this film coming out. What was it like exploring New York in these vastly different time periods in these projects, though you can kind of look at them and say some things have changed, but some have stayed the same at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, New York, you know, it's heart and soul in Harlem, and it's, you know, all of its complexity has not changed very much in that respect. It's always a hub of culture and really kind of like artistic influence, right? I know we're not talking about Harlem specifically in Highest to Lowest, but it's hard for me when we see that scene in the Bronx. You know, Eddie Palmieri and his band. It's just like so quintessential New York to me. But in terms of the difference between like time periods, obviously Godfather is so unique in that we step into the 60s, right?
Yeah.
And we have all of the, you know, the clothes and the hair and the makeup and the picture cars. So that's very exciting in a different way. But you know, I don't live a life like Pam King lives. I don't live in the penthouse of the Olympia, which is this incredible new building on the Brooklyn waterfront. I mean, incredible depending on who you ask. I know there are a lot of people who feel certain ways about the sun blockers.
Yeah.
But just always exciting to step into a new experience in my city. It's like seeing it through different eyes.
Yeah, I knew that this was a quintessential New York movie when, after I screened the movie for the first time, when I was taking the train back to Harlem, it was a Yankees game about to be that afternoon. And I was like, am I in Highest to Lowest right now? And it was, the trains were just swamped. And I'm like, wow, like that part of the movie just shows what it means to live in New York, like 100%.
Yeah.
And your character, Pam, she kind of goes through this, you know, all the characters, multiple characters in this movie go through this situation of what would you do if this was your child? And it causes like a moral dilemma, I think, for several of our characters. How did you get into that mindset of what was off the script in order to think about what she could be possibly thinking throughout this time?
I mean, the beautiful thing about the words on the page in this film is there wasn't a whole lot of imagination needed. It was very clear, you know, what was at stake, and you see the life that their hard work has afforded them, and you recognize that in an instant it's all potentially in jeopardy. So there is a moral dilemma in that you know what you stand to lose, but I think for Pam the choice is very obvious, right? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of like waffling on her part about what to do or what not to do. I think the real moral dilemma comes for the audience, who has to think about what they might do in a similar situation, which is like the fun and interesting part of this movie. It's thought-provoking.
Yeah. And lastly, you know, you're reuniting with Spike Lee in this project. Of course, the first thing that came to my mind was She's Gotta Have It, the Netflix series that people still today want more of that series. And then I was also reading that there was a pilot at one point that you were working on at HBO. So what was it like being able to work with him again, but also in this format of this movie and this specific reimagining?
Like, Spike is one of my dearest friends, so on that level, it's always a joy to work with him. But he also happens to be like one of the greatest storytellers of all time and complete cultural icon. So to be able to work with him for all those years in both those capacities is a gift and a joy. To be taken under his wing is, you know, what most actors can only dream of. Yeah, it's always pinch me and never taken for granted to work alongside him. Just a total joy.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me, and I can't wait for more people to see the film. I'm ready to see it again, too.
Yeah,
I need to.
good.
It was so exhilarating.
Good. Thank you. That's what we want to hear. It's nice to see you. Maybe I'll